It's that time. Get ready for weekly wisdom with Sean John. You gotta say it with your chest like he would.
Good day, everybody. Yes, you're wondering, is that Sean John? It definitely is me because you know what it is. It's time for your weekly wisdom. So, what is our topic for this week? Got it. So, capacity. Understanding your capacity and asking yourself the question, do you know or understand the capacity you have? So when I think about this, I come to this kind of example and this illustration that was used, and I've seen, and you may have seen it as well at times, where there is a glass jar, and then someone puts these big rocks into a glass jar and says, "Oh, is that full? Can it take on any more?" And people are like, "No, it looks pretty full." And then someone adds little pebbles, and it's like, "Oh, no, I think it's pretty full now." And then someone, adds sand, and it's like, "Oh, I think it's pretty full." And then someone adds water. Like, they keep adding, and you begin to see that there were all these little points that you can increase and fill this jar up even more before it is actually full. So, I, challenge us to think about that, in terms of how are we, when we get a few things assigned to us, when we get a few, things that we are working on, um, are we at our capacity? Or can we be stretched just a little bit more, not to the point where we break, or to the point where we feel exhausted, or we're stretched too far and we can't, come back together, but are we able to go to a point to where we truly know that we can do more? So the other piece I think about is that, like, think about it as well as like a bucket that's being filled, and when it's at the brim, how many more drops could you add before it actually starts to overflow? I think sometimes we look at it as, again, like we are full, we are at the top, we've reached our max, when in reality, we could have a little bit more that's going on with us. So, right now, what I think about is that, in the work that I do, over these past, almost 7 6 7 months, like I have, had an increased workload. And I think initially I felt like, man, like this is a lot. Like, where's the assistance coming from? Where's the assistance going to come from? And, how did all this get to me? And I had to say that some of it is what I took on, and other is what it was assigned to me. But one of the things I've begun to realize is that, you know, I am actually capable. I was actually capable of handling the type of work that I was able to do and still going home and being fulfilled. And I think that's the biggest piece of this with understanding your capacity is with everything that you are doing, do you still feel like you are being filled up in a good way at the end of the day? If this is wearing you out and continuously every day you are overflowing, or going back to the example of the glass jar, or you're bursting, the glass breaks, then that might be clearly too much capacity for you to have. But if you can get yourself in a place to where you can be filled and be fulfilled, then truly you are at a good point. And so we have to begin to understand at the end of the day that mindset of, what are we truly capable of? Don't sell ourselves short of any opportunities because we don't feel like we can take it on. I think right now we're in a time where we have to be in a place of rest. We have to be in a place of being still. We have to be in a place where we are trying to navigate everything that we need to accomplish. Well, what I encourage you to think about is that exactly what is it that you need to get accomplished? And for some things, are you the right person to be accomplishing that? Like, you might be able to hand some things off or ask for help on some things that really aren't things you should be handling to begin with. And that way you can have the capacity to take on the things that are going to fill you up and the things that are really going to, move you and make you come alive. And so, as I said a couple weeks ago, we have to do the things that are making us going to come alive. Don't ask, what the world needs. Ask rather, what is it that makes you come alive? Because the world needs more people who have come alive. And so, along that same vein, the world needs people who can understand the capacity for what it is they're capable of doing. There's so much going on with COVID and with the injustices going on in this world. There's so much going on in each of our workplaces. There's so much going on with schools trying to figure out if they're going to reopen right now. And so we have to understand, take the time, be still, be present, and understand how much capacity you have mentally, physically, and for those who subscribe to that, spiritually as well. So, peace and blessings, one love, and as always, see you next week for another episode of Weekly Wisdom. Also, follow me, Instagram, LeSean John.